I remember how quietly he stood there. Not defeated, just patient. Like a man who had learned that speaking too early only made people stop listening faster. He stood at the defense table, hands resting lightly in front of him, eyes steady but calm. Late 30s, maybe. Work shirt, sleeves slightly worn. Nothing about him demanded attention, and in that room, that was exactly why no one gave it to him. They said he had committed fraud, altered records, misused funds, intentional deception. The kind of case that sounds complicated until someone simplifies it into guilt. The prosecutor did that well. Clean, sharp, convincing. The defendant had full access, he said. Full control, and the alterations directly benefited him. He spoke like the conclusion had already been reached, like the rest was just formality. The judge leaned back, comfortable, certain, the kind of posture that tells you the decision isn't coming later, it's already been made. I don't see much to debate here, he said. A few quiet shifts in the room. Agreement. Expectation. The man didn't move, didn't react, just listened. His wife sat behind him, hands clasped tight, eyes fixed on him like she was holding her breath for both of them. You could see the fear in her, not loud, not visible to everyone, but real. When it was his turn, he spoke. I didn't alter anything, he said. Calm, clear, no hesitation. The judge didn't even look up. They all say that, he replied. The words landed like a door closing. Final. Dismissive. The prosecutor stepped forward again. We have documentation, he said. Original files and altered versions. The differences are clear. He placed the documents down, side by side. Simple. Convincing. The judge glanced briefly. Nodded. That's enough for me, he said. And just like that, it felt over. The man at the table didn't raise his voice. Didn't argue. He just stood there, holding something back. Waiting. Then he spoke again. You're looking at the wrong version. The room paused. Small, but real. The judge sighed. I'm not interested in delays, he said. It's not a delay, the man replied. Still calm. Still steady. It's the truth. That word didn't land the way the others had. It stayed. The prosecutor shook his head. This is exactly what I mean. The timestamp, the man said. He didn't raise his voice. But now, people were listening. Check the timestamp on the original file. Silence. The kind that leans forward. The prosecutor frowned slightly. It's already been reviewed, he said. Not closely, the man replied. The judge hesitated. Just a second. But enough. Because something in the way he said it didn't sound like guessing. It sounded like certainty. Show me, the judge said. Reluctantly, like he was giving time to something already decided. The prosecutor picked up the document again. Looked, then paused, then looked again. Longer this time. Because now, something didn't match. The timestamp, he muttered. The judge leaned forward. Really looking now. Not dismissing. Not assuming. Seeing. Because the file marked as original was created after the so-called altered one. The room didn't react loudly. It shifted quietly. Confidence slipping. Certainty cracking. That's not possible, the prosecutor said. But his voice had changed. Less sure. More careful. The man at the front spoke again. They replaced the file, he said. After I reported it. No anger. No emotion. Just fact. Placed exactly where it couldn't be ignored. My access shows the real version, he added. With the correct timestamp. The judge leaned back slowly. The weight of his earlier words still hanging in the air. I don't see much to debate. Still there. Only now, it meant something else. Do you have that version? The judge asked. The man nodded once. Yes. He reached into his folder. Pulled out a flash drive. Small. Simple. But suddenly, heavier than anything else in the room. They loaded it. Right there. No delay. No preparation. The screen lit up. File history. Edit logs. User access. Everything. Clear. Undeniable. The alterations didn't come from him. They came from someone else. Someone higher. Someone not standing in that room. The prosecutor stepped back. Just slightly. But enough. Because the story he built was gone. The judge didn't speak. Didn't move. Because now, the room had changed. Completely. The man at the front stood exactly the same. Still. Patient. Like he had been from the beginning. Only now, the room had finally caught up. The ruling came after. It had to. There was nothing left to argue. But that wasn't what stayed with me. It was that moment. When the truth appeared, quietly, simply, without force. And everything else had no choice but to move around it. Because the man they dismissed was the only one who had been telling the truth all alone.